Well, I'm gonna be honest, I was not expecting this DLC until next year.
Freeze, motherfucker! Boys! Expect the unexpected.
But nonetheless, hello, ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? Good old Conflicts here, and today we're going to be reviewing the Italy DLC. I'm going to be telling you whether or not it is worth to buy, or whether to avoid it like the plague. Now, to do this for you lovely people, I'm going to break this DLC down into 3 sections. The facts, gameplay and visuals, and then my final verdict on whether to buy this DLC to get your Italy fix, or whether or not to avoid it and just buy some Versace and Gucci instead. But without further ado, let's get straight into this review and go on to the facts. Alrighty then, let us get straight into this DLC with the facts. What are we getting? Well, for £13.99 or even £11 in a bundle deal, just like ATS New Mexico was, once again credit to SCS on this one, you are given 11,500 kilometers worth of new roads to drive on, 19 new cities to explore and marvel at the architecture, which, don't worry, we will get to later, new unique road networks that are exclusive to Italy, new tolls, auto tolls, brand new fuel stations, iconic Italian landmarks and natural scenery. For example, Mount Vesuvius is in-game. You can find all of these and explore all these, and a whole host of new industrial and agricultural depots for you to pick up your cargo from. While we're on the subject of cargo, new trailers have also been added in too to reflect the new industrial areas. You can potentially find yourself hauling vans from industrial areas, wine from vineyards, new tubes and pipes from more industrial areas, or if you're feeling really adventurous, you can go and grab yourself some octopuses. No joke, we can now haul frozen octopi around Europe. I think the guy who thought up that trailer really took the motto, variety is the spice of life, to a whole new level. Now finally, for my MLG, get on my level. You cannot handle my level of awesomeness. Don't be jello, be mellow. You cannot hate me because you hate me. Too cool for school. Mother truckers out there. Don't worry. There are 8 new achievements for you to work on to show off your trucking prowess to your friends, family, and loyal peasantry so that they can follow and witness your beauty. All of this crammed into one whole DLC. Now, do not let this map size fool you. Italy is deceivingly large. I thought Italy was going to be a small map expansion. I was definitely not expecting 500 plus mile journeys in Italy alone, so I am very glad to be proven wrong here. But there you have it. Now you've got the facts. You know what the bread and butter of this DLC is, so let us move swiftly on to the gameplay and visuals. So let us roll on to the gameplay and visuals. Let us start with the architecture and infrastructure. Once again, just like New Mexico, Italy has been designed with authentic buildings and environments, lush grassy scenery and old-style towns mixed in with newer modern industrial areas, and a flurry of marinas and docks and high-end industrial docks on the coast. Combine these with a very unique and complex Italian road system, help give Italy that authentic Italian feeling. This helps it stand out amongst its fellow DLCs as not just some other roads that you're going to drive, but roads that you will only find in Italy. All of this helps to give you that feeling as if you are driving around Italy. So very much this is a thumbs up for me with this one. Speaking of that Italian feeling, the new cars and assets that have been added into this game help to promote that feeling too. I mean, only in Italy would you have a Lamborghini Gallardo customized as a police interceptor, along with a whole host of high-end sports cars just rolling on past you. Anywhere else you would have thought you were going to a high-end car meet, but in Italy this is just another common sight. Off the topic of Italy, but still with the new scenery, a few little touches that have been added in this DLC have made this DLC so much better. I think the main one for me has to be the automated gates on the depots. Now this may seem silly to some people, like how the hell do some auto gates make this DLC better? And that is because it provides it with even more authenticity to the depots. I mean, go to any company depot in real life. They're not going to have wide open depots like the ones in the base map. They're going to have security checkpoints or proper gates to stop people coming in and stealing the freight and the valuables within the depot. Call me crazy, but added realism to a simulator is never a bad thing, and it's a thumbs up from me on this one. The gas stations too are yet another interesting change. No longer do we have fuel stops for cars and trucks combined. In Italy, they have now been separated into 2 separate entities within the gas station. The rest stops are included in this too. So cars will stay to the left, whereas trucks will have to go further on to the right to go into their individual fuel stops. And thank God for those of you that do multiplayer, we have 2 fuel stops. But this choice of gas stations really is a very interesting and unique design choice, which does make it stand out compared to the rest of the map. So once again, props to them on that. And finally, let's go over the new trailers. While they're not numerous and they're very much the same of the same, I can appreciate what SCS has done here, adding in trailers with new names, and it adds in more variety to the game. This is something I complained about in New Mexico, so I'm very much glad to see they have changed this in Italy. So once again, I will give them props on that. But now that we have covered all of our good bits, I'm sadly going to have to go into some bad bits with this DLC. My primary problem with this DLC is there are a lot of bugs and issues that have not been ironed out. Frame rate drops, C-sharp and visual runtime crane crashes, and a few issues with invisible barriers on the road are all minor issues that can be ironed out in patches. However, they have to be included in this as a downvote from me. I've seen streamers crashing into invisible barriers. I myself have had multiple game crashes. These issues do exist and they are cropping up on the Steam discussion tab as well. So hopefully these do get ironed out. I'm also going to have to point out I am sad not to see the dynamic events from American Truck Simulator being brought over to ETS2, as I feel this would have propelled this DLC to another level. Now, if you remember my ATS New Mexico review, I gave the dynamic events so much props as it helped propel New Mexico into such a higher quality DLC. It gave it more life to the actual DLC. So I'm really sad to see that it has not been brought over to ETS2. So this is going to be another thumbs down from me, because it would have added also more realism, which, you know, simulators, realism, this kind of thing I like. So yeah, another downvote from me. But now that we have the review of the gameplay and visuals, let us move on to the final verdict. Okay, so time for my final verdict. I'll give it a score out of 10, and whether or not I think this DLC is worth buying. But before we do get to that, let us summarise everything all up together. 11,500 kilometres of new roads and 19 new cities to visit will ensure multiple more hours of trucking time under your belts. The new city's architecture and scenery, that is a stark contrast from the base game map and all the other DLCs, will help to ensure that not only will you have fun driving down these roads, but that the journey will be visually beautiful as well. New industries, depots and drop-off points with unique trailers will keep people racking up the hours up as well. Although sadly, I must say this DLC could have also been so much more with the dynamic events that ATS received in 1.29 with New Mexico. And I honestly believe that this would have propelled the DLC to even higher levels than what it currently is at. I must also point out that there are a few bugs lingering with this DLC, which is understandable. SCS were under an immense amount of pressure to get this DLC out before the end of the year, so I'm hoping that they're going to be able to clean these bugs up soon. So overall from me, this DLC is a 7 out of 10. With a shaky launch and the lack of dynamic events that ETS2 simply does not have, this DLC falls into a category for me of just some more map to drive along. Don't get me wrong, the map and the scenery is great. The new trailers are awesome too, but I feel like this is more of an attempt at a hit and just slightly missing the mark. If the dynamic events were added to this, we would easily be talking 9s or 10s without a shadow of a doubt, because that would have added so much more to it, I feel. But now for the real reason that you came here. Is it worth the price tag? Do you buy it or don't buy it? Now don't let my score deceive you. I am very stingy because of the high standards I hold SCS to for their DLCs. This DLC, for all the new roads, vistas and areas you can drive to, is well worth the £13.47 price tag. I could even justify them slapping a £20 price tag on it, because you can see how much effort has gone into the DLC. From the big stuff like the big architectural pieces to even the small nuances like the small little gates and the automatic gates. And for any fan of the ETS2 series, this is another DLC that is an absolute must-have to the collection. Even if you are new to the series, I'd say this DLC is a good place to start, as it will give you a great bang for your buck and keep you guys entertained for many, many more hours. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is my review of the ETS2 Italy DLC. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like to let me know you have enjoyed it. Subscribe for more ETS2 content along with a whole load of other content on my channel. And make sure to check out the important links in the description down below. But nonetheless, I am going to sign off there. So thank you everybody once again for watching. I have been Conflicts, and you have been you. Peace out, guys, and I will catch you next time.